You know what that sound is. Hello, everyone. This is W. Welcome to another Highcast. This is number 5. I have a great one for you today. In today's newscast, I'm going to talk to you about some vinyl picks, Record Store Day, Black Friday, the perfect reminder, story of the Trashcan Sinatras, and much, much more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the next 10 minutes. And of course, I'm going to drop the big news coming up in a little bit. Today is October 12th. Let's get started with 3 vinyl picks. We're going to kick it off. Number 1, this is Slowdive Blue Day. Came out 1992 creation. This was the music on vinyl release. This is the album that started it for many people, including me. And the track on here was Avalon number 1. And when I saw them perform most of these songs live with Ride in Palo Alto and San Francisco, kind of launched my lifelong love for this band. So yeah, check it out, Slowdive Blue Day. The next one, I was so excited to see this gentleman get back into the groove of touring. Of course, I'm talking about Matt Johnson. This is the comeback special live at the Royal Albert Hall. This was released a couple years ago. And what makes this 3 vinyl album so special is that, well, number 1, you get 24 tracks on here. It spans most of his music over 35, 40 years. And when I saw them play this live in San Francisco at the Masonic, of course, he was fantastic. He spoke to the audience about some of these songs, but I was so impressed with this backing band. Some great tracks here. We have Heartland, Love is Stronger Than Death, Bugle Boy, Slow Emotion Replay, and one of my favorites on this album is a version of Dogs of Lust, side 3. So grab this if you can. I'm not sure if it's sold out, but head on over to the website. I'm sure you can find it, or Discogs. So yeah, the comeback special. And I think he's touring next year. So be on the lookout for those tour dates. And my last vinyl pick, this is 1994, London Suede Dogman Star. Controversial album cover right here. This was their second album that really had some controversy at the beginning because of the cover and some of the songs. The songs are pretty harsh. They're gritty. They're very sexual in nature and tone. And what I really appreciate about this album, that it's extremely sprawling. And some of the songs could be 3 minutes and some could be 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. So this is a great album if you're not familiar with it. Again, came out in 1994. Ed Bueller produced it. You may be familiar with Radiohead stuff. And I think this was the album that really Brett Anderson, Bernard Butler really had their struggles and kind of put a wedge between them. But there are some phenomenal tracks on here, including my favorite, which still to this day is Still Life. It's pretty epic if you haven't heard it. So there you go. Okay, let's get into Record Store Day, 11/24, Black Friday. This is where record stores promote, obviously, their businesses by bringing in some special releases, first runs, exclusives. And I looked at the list this year and I was not very impressed. However, if I do go to the record store on that day, we'll be looking out for these albums. Carter Burwell, you might be familiar with his long-standing career as a composer for many films, but more in particular, he does a lot of work with the Coen brothers. So they have a release coming out. It's for the movie Blood Simple, which is one of the first Coen brothers movies. and it's a great film noir shot, and I think it was made in early 80s. So yeah, looking forward to that one. David J, bassist for Bauhaus, played in Love Rockets, of course. He's got an album coming out called Tracks from the Attic. The Flaming Lips, Yoshima Battles the Pink Robots. Now that is a terrific album, and this is live at the Paradise Lounge, Boston, October 27th. And with the Lips, you never know what you're going to get. I imagine this pressing is going to be pretty cool, probably swirly colors or maybe a picture disc, who knows. But that could be a great pickup. And then De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising. They're doing a 7-inch box set. So if you're into that album, which is one of the greatest albums of all time, that might be a nice scoop as well. So those are some record store releases. Again, not terribly excited. And if you are excited about anything, go ahead, put it in the comment box. Okay. So I want to talk to you about some upcoming events here. We have, so the Mighty Lemon Drops, all recorded, done, and that's going to be released tomorrow for all of you to see. This is the event I did with my friend that I've known since kindergarten, one of my best friends, Dave Von Geer, and we shined a spotlight on the Mighty Lemon Drops. Plus, at the end of that conversation, you're going to see a very special conversation with a Mighty Lemon Drops himself. I will announce who it is. You're going to have to check it out. So I will drop that tomorrow. And a tribute to Andy Bell. You may be familiar with his ride work, Glock, solo work. DJ Yogi and I examined those 3 outfits for him and picked some of our favorite songs. And we had some special guests along the way, which was really cool, that I was able to record. And that will be pushed out very soon. And so look for a link for that. So that was a tribute to Andy Bell. And then on October 15th, we have a tribute to Trashcan Sinatras. This will be the second time conversation that we will be shining a spotlight on TCS work. We're actually going to explore 2 albums this time, as we did the previous time, and I'll be joined by Keith Bell and Mark Morris, and there will be a very special guest for that as well. So that will be October 15th. Jane Duffus, you may be familiar with her as an author. She's going to be joining me on December. What happened? She'll be joining me on October 22nd. She is the author of the Sarah Record Story that will be published on October 16th. And we're going to do a nice Q&A for her brand new book, These Things Happen. So looking forward to that. And then, so those are some upcoming events. Some of them have already been recorded and some will be live. So just stay tuned for more details. Okay, Slowdive is tonight. That's right. I've seen this band many times, never been disappointed in their live shows. The very first time I saw them was May 23rd, 1992, Slim's in San Francisco. And then they did another show in Palo Alto near my home. And this was, of course, with Ride. And so tonight they're playing with Drab Majesty in San Francisco at the historical, the Warfield. So I'm sure it's sold out and can't wait to see them promote their new album, Everything is Alive. So yeah, this is the energy, I'm sure, is going to be thick, palpable, and quite buzzing. So that will be Slowdive tonight. And then they're going to be going away for a couple more shows, and they're coming back to San Francisco for another show. So I might have to check that one out as well. Okay, now comes the big news. You ready for this? So last week, I had the incredible pleasure of speaking with Simon Scott. Simon Scott, you may know, is the drummer of Slowdive. He's also producer, master engineer, kind of can do it all. Well, we had a 45-minute recorded conversation that covered quite a bit of terrain, including childhood experiences, inspirations, Slowdive tour, and his new project, Three Quarter Skies. Yes, there we go. So, what does that mean? Well, Three Quarter Skies are releasing Universal Flames on October 26th. And these songs that were written by Simon will be championed and endorsed by an album listening party on October 26th. So I will give you all the details for that event, and that will be hosted on the High Art on the Edge page. There are cassettes for this album, but I think they're sold out, but it will be available on Bandcamp on that release day. So on the release day, after the album listening party, I'm going to share with you the interview that I did with Simon Scott for all of you to enjoy. It's a 45-minute interview, and I'm very, very excited to share this with you all. He's just a pure gentleman and so knowledgeable about books, movies, and of course, music, and very articulate in the way that he goes about speaking about his love for these things that really fuels inspirations. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for more details regarding this special event on October 26th. Again, we're going to be celebrating Three Quarter Skies Universal Flames album. So yeah, that is the big news. Remember, keep your eyes and ears open for great art around you. It's always there. Thank you for tuning in to Highcast number 5. If you have any vinyl picks you want to share, Record Store Day, Black Friday picks that you're looking forward to. Oh yeah, the perfect reminder. Sorry, I forgot. How ironic. So here's a book that Craig McAllister did that came out last year. And this is a story about the Trashcan Sinatras album, their second album, I've Seen Everything. And this book is gorgeous as it's filled with wonderful interviews with band members, people that have embraced their music for a long, long time. They've written their accounts of this album and what it means to them. And I'm just going to read you a little portion here. This is from David Belcher, who's a writer. To promote the record, I arranged the interview of the trash cans in Shabby Road. I thought it was most unlikely place for a studio above a Chinese takeaway. And it was, as I found out, fairly shabby inside too. The trash can struck me as slightly cocky and gave a couldn't care less attitude. They weren't fussed with trends on what every other band were doing at the time. They just seemed so sure and certain about what that they were doing. I now live very near John and often bump into him on Bears Road. And for the record, I like to say, no way that he or any of the trash cans are cocky. I've Seen Everything is a remarkable second album. It's the perfect synthesis of all the great pop classicism that went before XTC, REM, The Smiths. Across the album, there's a real range of moody, gutsy, powerful guitar rock that gives way to orchestral Baroque mood music with pastoral interludes. So there you go. Stephanie Gibson did the photos, beautiful photos. And this was designed by the highly creative Chris Dooley. So I highly recommend it. Again, this is the story of the second album, I've Seen Everything. There's some nice photos here. Interviews with the band members. So there you go. Thank you for tuning in. So excited to be sharing with all this great news with you. Take care, everyone. My name is W, host of the High Art on the Edge page. Ciao.